late Friday, DC. Unfortunately, we're not getting Jack Hermansson versus Darren Till on December 5th. We are getting Jack Hermansson versus Kevin Holland, DC. Kevin Holland is attempting to become just the third UFC fighter in the modern era. And what do I mean by modern era? I mean post-Zuffa, when they stopped the one-night tournaments. So third UFC fighter in the modern era to go 5-0 in a year, right? In a single year. The other two, Roger Huerta did it back in the day, and Neil Magny did it as well.
Well, I mean, a lot of fighters now are trying to just be as active and busy as they possibly can. And there's another guy or someone that's fighting again very soon that's going to have that opportunity. But that's crazy with the level of competition that if Kevin gets past Hermansson, that he had to do it by defeating.
So, but here's the thing. Number one, let's be honest, he hasn't been fighting the Jack Hermanssons of the world, right? Like he had that moment with Izzy. Izzy's reply was basically like, yeah, like you're not really in the conversation. Is Kevin Holland ready for those kinds of guys? Like all respect to him and respect to Hermansson, who by the way said 5 people turned him down. So I feel for the guy, but do you think Kevin Holland is ready to make that? Is he a player at 185?
Well, let me pull my deal up right now. I'm trying to look at Kevin Holland's record going forward and who he's fought. Now, I know the kid is extremely talented, but a lot of times all we need is an opportunity, right? As fighters, every single time you walk into that octagon, you believe that you're a better version of who you was before. So to Kevin Holland, that lost to Brendan Allen last year, I'm sure he thinks that he's better today. And by getting in there with a guy that is a submission threat like Jack Hermansson, proving that he can go with him and not only survive that, but beat him, tells him that he is exactly where he needs to be to challenge for a championship. These are the moments that these young guys hope for, man. And I don't know if Kevin is ready for it, but this fight and this type of matchup will prove whether he is or not. But hats off to him, hats off to Kevin for stepping in there on short notice in such a dangerous fight. And hats off to Jack for even taking it, because that's one of those fights where how much do you have to gain by fighting a guy like Kevin Holland, who's long, dangerous, can strike, can stand, when you're the guy that's like right around the top of the division.
I spoke to Darren Till briefly on Friday. He said, I asked him, did the old knee injury just not heal properly? What's wrong?
You and Darren Till actually talk?
Oh, did I just break kayfabe for a second?
Yeah, you broke kayfabe. What are you doing?
What are you talking about?
You know better than this.
Guy. Come on.
This whole thing's been going on for a year now. I thought Darren Till was going to have to beat you up. I was going to have to defend you. Wait, you guys talk.
I don't know if you know this,
my goodness.
DC.
You're pulling the curtain back too much.
Habib and I talk every day, too. Habib and I talk. I'm friends with all these guys. Even Habib.
Wait, what?
Come on.
That's fake news. Fake news. That's not real, man. You're not talking to Habib every day.
All right, fine.
All right.
So he told me, because I asked him, he had knee surgery. I said, did it just not heal or did you re-injure? He said it was a bit of both. So hopefully we see him back. He handled it very well, sent good wishes to Kevin Holland. Here's the big question to me going into this fight, DC. I don't think we have ever been, in recent memory, since at least I've been doing this late into a year where there isn't a clear-cut fighter of the year. This is crazy. In the male divisions, right? Fighter of the year. Is it possible if Kevin Holland wins his 5th fight in 2020 that Kevin Holland is the male fighter of the year? We could go down the line. Like usually it's a champion, right, DC? Usually it's a champion that kind of has the... Okay, Stipe fought once, right?
Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns has to be in the conversation. He's fought two or three times.
Did Gilbert Burns fight in 2020? The guy hasn't fought in like 8 months. I mean, let's be honest.
He fought twice. He fought in June. You got to chill with the Gilbert Burns, man.
I'm just saying. Come on. Gilbert Burns went from being the Cowboy Cerrone of the UFC to being like, I'm just going to squat on my title shot.
Because it's his title fight, right? I understand. But like, I think Gilbert Burns is in the conversation because the high level of competition that he fought. If Kevin Holland gets past Jack Hermansson, yeah. But here's the issue, man. Anytime you have guys that are fighting for championships, immediately it just jumps a guy that's kind of fighting. Now, Davis and Figueiredo, right? Davis and Figueiredo fights and beats Alex
Perez.
Now you're looking at a guy in Davis and Figueiredo who knocked out Joe Benavidez at the end of last year, right at the very end, right?
Early this year. He'd be 3-0.
Was that in December or January?
February.
Okay, in February. He knocks him out. They don't give him the belt. comes back, beats Joe B up again, gets the belt. He beats Alex Perez impressively. Now you're looking at a guy that's a champion, that's fought 3 times, that won the belt, defended the belt. You kind of lean towards a guy like that.
Points because he missed weight.
Yeah, but then going back and beating Joe in an official title fight in the way that he did, and then say he looks impressive against Perez, how do you deny that? So I would like to think that there's a world that we live in where a guy like Kevin, who is now starting to make his way up the ranks, can become the fighter of the year. But I don't think that that's possible right now.
There's not a clear-cut answer. And there's another one. I'm surprised you didn't mention him. Your boy Khamzat, the Khamzat, right? If he wins on December 19th.
Still again, though, I just think that we don't live in a world where a guy that isn't holding the championship is considered fight of the year. Go back to 2015 and you tell me fighters of the year if you can remember them. You seem to remember all this stuff.
Yes. Lest we forget, DC, my fighter of the year last year, unless you want to count the BMF title as a real title, was Jorge Masvidal.
Jorge Masvidal was wearing a championship. Jorge Masvidal was wearing a championship. So it's like exactly what I'm saying. So last year, Masvidal, but
yes,
Masvidal may have won it on yours. But at the end of the year, most people said that who was the fighter of the year?
It was between Masvidal and Izzy.
Israel Adesanya, right? Who was also
I thought Masvidal did enough.
2018, myself. 2017, who was it?
Oh, man,
think about it.
You're putting me on the spot. You're putting me on.
It's
always a champion. It's always a champion.
Yes, I don't think we live in a world where they're giving fighter of the year to guys that aren't wearing champions.
Okay, so that's the thing. Like, okay, 125 is Figueiredo, 135 Petr Yan. If he wins, what about Petr Yan? Or if Aljo wins, could be in the conversation, right? December 12th, they're fighting. Could be in the conversation, but it's not clear cut.
Aljo beats Sandhagen. Who did Aljo beat in the beginning of the year?
That's it. So it's 2-0. No clear cut. Okay, 145. Volkanovski will be what, 1-0, not clear cut. 155. Khabib 1-0. Gaethje would have locked it up if he would have won. If he would have beaten Khabib,
but he didn't. 170.
170. Usman only fought once.
85. Izzy
in the conversation. 2-0.
Izzy's fought twice. Izzy's fought.
But the Romero fight, everyone bagged on it.
I think at the end of the year, when we look at the fighter of the year candidates, it'll be Davison.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy, Blachowicz, and maybe like a Khamzat Chimaev. Like one guy will be in there that doesn't have a championship if he beats Leon Edwards. But yeah, it'll be one of those champions, man. Sorry, Ariel. I know you want to live in this fairy tale world where everything is cupcakes and rainbows, but hey, sorry, it's not cupcakes and rainbows. You got to be holding 13 pounds of gold most times to be considered the fight of the year.
I'm just trying to say, if he wins his 5th fight of the year, he should be in the conversation. I also acknowledge it's never been this wide open this late. Like usually by now, like you just beat Derek Lewis in early November, you locked it up, right?
Yes.
Masvidal just beat Nate Diaz in early November. It's usually, by the way, the MSG fight. Like Conor beat Eddie, he locked it up, right? It's usually the MSG card, which would have been this past weekend. Very, very sad. And it was a beautiful weekend in New York City. But unfortunately, we're not getting that. So anyway, respect to Kevin Holland for stepping up. And I think it's a really, really interesting fight.